All right, so I just saw F1 the movie, and it was a great experience in theaters, in IMAX. I recommend it that exact way. I don't know why I'm talking like Trump. In IMAX, but you can see it in Dolby. I can see the sound being a bit better in Dolby, obviously, but the IMAX visuals, chef's kiss. Also, this movie has some great needle drops. Now, I guess that's the perk when you're Apple making a movie. You have Apple Music privileges. So you hear Led Zeppelin, you hear Billy Squier, you hear Gary Clark Jr., some other contemporary music that I wasn't necessarily familiar with. Hans Zimmer does the score. Like, there's a lot of things that pour into this movie that make this a pleasurable experience for audiences that don't care about this sport, and certainly I would assume audiences that do. So I don't know anything about this sport, but I'll talk about this movie. So it stars Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Carrie Condon, Javier Bardem, and a few other characters that you see as part of this bigger team. But those are the main characters. But we really follow Brad Pitt and Damson Idris. Brad Pitt is a strong lead in this movie. He has that Brad Pitt charm. Like he kind of has that little talk he does, and he just kind of seems like a cool guy. And he's here to race cars, so it's gonna be a fun time already. But then you have the story of the old man versus the young man, tale as old as time. And yes, that's cliche, it's overdone. You could maybe watch 1,000 movies that have that going on, but this is unique because Brad Pitt is the old man, which I think makes him just more likable than most of these old men figures in these sorts of cliche stories. Damson Idris's character is interesting to me because you don't know a ton about his story, but you can tell that he is racing, maybe because he loves it, but also for some other motives that are less pure to the sport. And in that, plus his personality and behavior towards his team members, but also Brad Pitt, you kind of find him to be pretty unlikable. And that is the point. But Brad Pitt's also supposed to come across unlikable, but his charm as an actor and a persona carries through a bit more than Damson's character does. Now, I'm not super familiar with Damson's works. Like, I know he's been in some relevant movies before. I can't put a character to his face. But I also don't know what his personality or persona is on screen anyway, so I don't know if this is a new lane for him or if this is just something that is kind of consistent where he kind of plays that young, witty, charming, but also bratty character. But I just wanted a bit more to his character. But his character does have a mom next to him. The mom is sweet, a good like support character for him. He also has a manager. Manager's there. Manager doing cliche manager things. All these characters, if we're being honest, are cliches. But the cliches drive the plot. And the plot is about racing. The plot is about the ability to race and to win races. And we watch as these characters have to work for each other, help each other, while also kind of overcoming their personality clashes. And I think it's pretty effective at that, but most effective at creating on-screen action via racing. The camera angles in this are insane. I mean, there's points where you see, the tire angle, noticing like punctures in the tire, to obviously you see the actors' faces while they're quote unquote driving. You also see a shot of the full car, or you see like full screen PlayStation racing mode where there's no car in sight, you're just seeing the road as you glide across the road. Just a lot of stuff going on in terms of creative camera angles, and all of it keeps you engaged. This is a 2.5 hour movie, so you have to be engaged, but it does an excellent job at keeping you there, like I said, with the music, obviously with the camera and the action, but also some of the fun being had on screen. Like, I just think these characters have chemistry. Maybe not necessarily as much as I want to with our two main characters, but there's a lot of side character action happening here where you begin to like the relationships that are forming through this racing team. So it's an excellent, fun movie. Do I think it's going to win any awards regarding writing? No, but I think some of this production team has to be rewarded for what they've done. Like, I felt like this was a very immersive experience. IMAX definitely helps with that. But like, as somebody who doesn't care about F1 racing, like I was in this like, man, like I want to know more about this world because everything about it seems exhilarating. Like, I can see why somebody might watch this over the course of hours and hours, because I'm 2.5 hours into a movie where there's actual, character moments splitting up the racing. But like, I would watch 2.5 hours of a race if it was this high octane, and I think a lot of them probably are. So Excellent movie. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. The only shortcoming is, of course, that I didn't love the direction that Damson Idris's character takes in terms of his attitude, which again fits certain molds of the character, but it's also just a bit overdone. Excellent movie though. Please go see it. I can't imagine that it's not gonna make a ton of money. I believe the budget might have been like 200, maybe 300 million, and I don't know if it's gonna make that back, but honestly, it deserves to. Like, this is one of those summer blockbuster movies that like we yearn for. I know we have a lot. We have a lot of stuff coming out. Fantastic Four is coming out. Jurassic whatever is coming out in a week or two. There's stuff coming out, but this I think will have a good presence at the box office, and hopefully you see it in IMAX. If not that, then Dolby. If not that, just buy the best Sonos or whatever brand you prefer sound system at home. Get the best TV, LG C2, whatever you need, OLED. Get that and watch this at home many, many times. I think this is one of those movies that I'm going to buy on Blu-ray. If that's Blu-ray 4K, whatever it is now, I'm going to buy this because I want to watch this enough times to warrant, the $25 purchase. But yes, excellent movie, excellent time. Brad Pitt's a lot of fun, and it's great.